What's going on, everyone? This is Vince from Life with Vince Lou. So I am making a brand new series, BJJ Blue Belt Chronicles, documenting my journey as a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I wish I would have made more videos as a white belt documenting my journey there, but I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and I never got around to making another video. So I wanted to document this journey, the pros, the cons, what I'm thinking, what my struggles are, anything and everything that has to do with my blue belt journey. So with that being said, episode number 1 is going to be talking about my experience being one of the lighter guys in my gym. So I am currently 127 pounds, and I'm 127 pounds more mainly because I'm balancing jiu-jitsu and ultra running. So I run anywhere from 30 to 50 miles. Because I'm putting in that many miles a week, I will naturally, 1, burn more calories, and then 2, I really like being at that 127, 128 range when I'm running, because even stacking on, 5-6 pounds when I'm 133, 134, it really makes that running harder, and I just don't want that. So the sweet spot for me is 127 to 128 pounds. So, but with that, because I am on the lighter side, there's pros and cons in going into jiu-jitsu because of that body weight. So the first point that I wanted to talk about was that naturally, because I am the smaller person, going against my training partners, I'm more often in a defensive position rather than in a dominant position. So in a defensive position, meaning I am usually trying to play a lot of defense. So either mount, they'll mount me, I'll get my back taken, side control, they're side controlling me, versus me doing that to them, right? I mean, I would say 70 to 80% of the time, they're pressuring me with that versus me having mounts on them or taking their back, right? With that being said, because I am exposed to more of a defensive position, I like playing off my back. I like it when people are in my guard versus when I am in their guard. So my setups are just better. I have better sweeps. I have better setups. I like arm bars, triangles. And then sometimes I'll even open up double sleeve to play spider, to play lasso, spider lasso. And I'm just a little bit more comfortable there versus than when I'm in someone's guard and trying to break their guard, right? So also with that, because I'm in more or less these defensive positions more often, I have noticed that my defense is getting better, or it's good for what it is, right, as a blue belt. So I'm just tighter. People, when I first started as a white belt, I mean, I was leaving, like elbows out, or like I just wasn't like protecting my neck as much as I should have been, and they would set up submissions and then submit me pretty easily. But now it's like, okay, be smart about it, close tight, and then they'll have a hard time opening me up. So I always get after rolls, people will say, hey, that was a pretty good like defense, even when they're taking my back, they take my back, but then they're not able to submit me. So they'll give me like that type of feedback. So, and then also because I tend to be in a like half guard position, or I'll recover when I'm in a side control, I'll recover, half guard, when they're trying to pass. So like that aspect of my game is, it's pretty decent too, because usually after I roll with people, they'll say, hey, like that was really good guard recovery, guard retention. So they don't, just pop on over to mount. So with that as well, I really, because most of my training partners are, they could be 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds heavier than I am. I appreciate all those training partners that, drop their physicality to meet mine, because I'm pretty strong for my size, but that's for my size. When someone has 30, 40, 50 pounds over you, they're naturally stronger. They naturally have to carry that weight, and it doesn't matter if I'm super strong at 127 pounds. Like, I feel like that's the same as someone that's decently strong or like even okay at like 180, right? Because their physicality is more, or they have more physicality, they have the upside on a lot of cases. And the next point is, because I'm in these more defensive positions, I'm not really in a dominant position so often. I would say like 70 to 80% of the time defensive, 10 to 20%, maybe 20 to 30% more of an offensive position. And a lot of times it's because they let me, but when I'm in like a mount, or when I'm like taking their back, you know, I will freeze up a little bit. It's a little bit slower to process of like, okay, what should I do? How do I react? Because since I don't get as much exposure to that realm, I mean, it's naturally going to be a slower reaction on my part. The next thing, since I am 127 pounds, my cardio is really, really good right now. So as long as I keep moving, when they're mounting me, like, you know, like try to do, you know, a sweep, or not a sweep, like try to like push them off of me and get them off of me, and shrimp, get on my side. As long as I'm moving and keeping tight, they typically will have a harder time than when, you know, if I was winded and I needed to take a break. So for me, I use that to my advantage. Keep moving. Also, being the smaller guy, my technique needs to be very, very good. So 95 to 100%. If your foot's not placed in the right place, if you're not getting their hips off the ground, if you're not doing this or doing that, then the technique generally doesn't work, especially against a bigger person. If you're a lot bigger than your opponent, sometimes you can get away with muscling it, but because as a smaller person, you won't be able to muscle someone that's 200 pounds if the technique isn't really there, right? If it's not crisp enough. So, you know, I would go to class, I would pay attention to technique, and I feel like I got some sort of a grasp on it, and, you know, I got the big picture stuff, right? Then when I would try it out during live rolling, it wouldn't work. So I brought those questions to the black belt that I take privates with, and I was like, hey, why doesn't this work? And he said, in the feedback he's giving me is like, oh, well, your foot's not positioned there, or your toes aren't active, or you're not at the right angle. And that little bit of angle and that little bit of toe action makes a huge difference. So, and that's a great thing, because I can't muscle it, I will have to make sure that my technique is 95 to 100%. So I really like that, because I have to learn the technique and I don't want to muscle it, basically. Yeah, so thanks for watching that video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Other than that, see y'all soon.